Sunday. It's about 9 a.m. I'm going to get ready for the day. I'm gonna sit down and watch my astrology video.
When I'm looking at someone's chart and I'm trying to do a report for somebody on their natal chart, more than worrying about the moon sign, which we looked at before in my last video, more than worrying about the sun sign, I want to know where the fuck their Venus is. Where is your Venus in your chart? Venus is so crucial to figuring out who you are. Venus is your outer world, and your moon sign is your most private, inner, reflective world. Okay, so we looked at the moon sign, inner world. Venus is your outer world. And this is how we connect to everything. It's how we relate to everything. It's how we present ourselves to the world. It's our aesthetic. That is what our Venus is. And this, I believe that if people could understand where their Venus is when it comes to their chart, and they worked with their Venus, they would be so much happier if you could figure out how to make that happen. Those things inside the cell is actually very similarly placed in correlation to the spheres of all of the planets that circulate around the sun in our own solar system. It's like, what? So if that's not proof that we are connected to what's happening out there in the cosmos, I don't know what the fuck is. That's incredible. So we are consciousness trying to understand itself. So we are fractals of source that's come down and splintered, like the sun. Say if the sun was a solid thing and it's projecting out all this light, little rays of light would be what we would call soul. And that soul has come down to have the human experience in the 3D density, which is planet Earth here in this density, in this dimension, that we are having now as a human spirit, as a human. Something is happening with Venus right now. Venus, in science and from what we know, is the astral ethereal mirror to our planet Earth. And so Venus is what some solid scientists or astrologers refer to as the elder sister of Earth.
So I'm studying about Venus right now and just taking like a deeper dive into more of what the planets are and mean, their elemental space, how they operate, the energy, I guess, that they carry, and then essentially how that relates to us here and how that relates to facets of our personality. And so Venus represents our love nature, like the things that we find beautiful, the things that we value, how we value ourselves, how we love ourselves, care for ourselves. For women, it's how we express love. So Venus is our money, what we spend our money on. And so those are kind of just like generic, very textbook sort of meanings of what Venus is. And so I'm trying to go a little more esoteric and dive a little bit deeper into just more than that. But currently in the astro weather, Venus is currently retrograde, and so from our perspective on Earth, that just means it looks like the planet is moving backwards. It's slowed down, and so retrogrades are always the time of the re's, astrologers will say, redoing, rethinking, reevaluating, reestablishing, sometimes reconnecting, right? Like Mercury retrograde on the internet is always infamous for, you know, the redos, right? That's when the exes come back. And And sometimes they do, and in a Venus retrograde, you know, maybe some of you are like reconnecting with people from the past or things like that, and which would make perfect sense. However, that's kind of what's going on right now, and it's retrograding in the sign of Leo. So it's individual and unique for where and what is happening in your own individual chart. But basically, Venus is in her retrograde right now. This is a really important time right now. It's the beginning of these new cycles. So, and everything moves cyclically. And Venus moves in 8-year cycles. So thinking back to things that were going on 8 years ago, thinking back to things that were closing out maybe 16 years ago, like what was going on, and those themes are sort of replaying themselves. Everything is about lessons, and then finding that everything in terms of our spiritual growth and in terms of how we move and operate in the world, things happen in cycles and patterns. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's like, when you don't learn this lesson, it comes back to you. Things will cycle back around. And I'm on a mission, and have been on a mission for years, to make sure that I get that shit right. I don't want to do this again. I don't want to cycle through it again. If there's lessons to be learned while I'm here as a human existing and living out this human experience as a spiritual being, then what I want is to do the best job at it. And I want to do it well, and I want to do it right. And, you know, I'm waiting for that pat on the back, well done, my good and faithful servant, right? So anyways, all of that to say, Venus represents how we connect to the world. It's our love nature. And so right now is a really important time to really just be reevaluating how we care about ourselves. How are we loving ourselves? How are we pouring into ourselves? What do we value? And what are we establishing with people and connections and relationships? And for some people, a lot of relationships are falling to the wayside. I mean, even in celebrity culture, like you can see it, just a lot of people's shit is falling apart. And I'm not gonna say that it's because of the planets or anything like that. I do believe that there is influence all over, and what is happening in the cosmos does influence certain facets of things that are happening here on the planet. Like, we can't be so small as to think that things aren't so deeply connected. And I do believe that. And so at this time for me, I know there's been just a lot of evaluation of some of those things, you know, what is love even, and how can I care for myself in a way, and what are the things that I value now, right? Like, after things happen in your life, after seasons pass in your life, after you've grown from certain lessons in your life, like, who are you now? Who are you today? What do you value now? What do you love now? How do you need love now? How do you receive or give love now? What is your love language now? And all of that is related to the planet Venus in astrology and in some forms of psychology. So that's basically what we just listened to now. It is Sunday. I do like to study a little bit of my astrology stuff on Sundays. I feel like it's a way for me to tend to sort of like my spiritual disciplines and stuff like that. So I'm gonna run to the store. Today's my dad's birthday. I'm gonna go pick up a card and, I don't know, maybe some candy or something for him. And then I want to get a new notebook for my Sunday notes. And then after that, I'm going to do a little bit of studying. So I had ordered a ton of books. Like, literally over the last 2 years, I've ordered so many astrology books. And I have gone above and beyond a little bit. These aren't just your regular, like, average, you know, the only astrology book you'll ever need. And by the way, I do have that book, and it is a good book, but I want deeper than that. I don't want pop culture astrology. I don't want trending astrology, and I don't want fake ass astrology. I want to really know for real, going all the way back, as far back ancient, like, honestly, as I can. I feel like I believe that modernization is necessary, and as we grow and evolve, like, new things are presented and new things happen, because that's progression, right? Things have to be new and evolutionary. But I don't think that we should ever, like, disregard the bones of where stuff comes from. And I think that a lot of pop astrology tends to make up its own stuff. Like there's this one person that I watch on TikTok, and I swear like this person stays talking shit about astrology, and the person is an astrologer, but they stay talking shit about the way some astrologers do their job, and the way that they say things. It's just like, yo, like you can't just disregard all of the things of old though. Like those things are ancient, been around for years and years and years, predate certain religions. Like come on, like if anything, we learn to integrate, and then we learn to deliver it in a way that is now modern, but you don't take away from the bones and the structure of what it is. And that goes for anything, not just astrology. But anyways, I have this book, Parker's Astrology, and it's huge. It is a textbook. It has so much information in it. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling. We are at almost 10 a.m. and so I'm gonna head off, go take care of those things, and then get back and move along with the day. Happy Sunday, everyone. All right, so we picked up some gifts for my dad. Nothing amazing, just simple. The kids picked out some t-shirts and some new slippers for him, and then I just got a card, and so I'll take this stuff. Oh, and I got him some cheesecake too, and so we'll take this stuff down in just a bit downstairs. I don't know if him and my mom went to lunch or what they did today, but that's that, all set to go. And then I picked up this swimsuit. I actually really like the color of it. I got it for dance. I thought it would make a cute little summery outfit for my Instagram feed, and then the bottoms are like kind of thongy, I guess. I don't know, so we'll see. But all the swimsuits and stuff are getting ready to clearance out at Target, so I figured I would just pick this up, and so I did. So it's cute, so can't wait to put this on. And I ended up getting some school supplies for the kids. I've picked up a lot of their crayons and markers and pencils and pens and all that kind of stuff, but of course, you know, it is what it is. So I got this little word roller thing for Penelope as she's developing like her reading and spelling skills. I got 3 pencil boxes, so I'm going to set up their supplies for them so that they all have everything that they need when the year starts. I just grabbed some more folders, and these will actually be for our morning meeting for me to put their stuff in that we're going to do every day during that time. I got folder for Preston, or folder for Penelope, folder for Preston, and then these little manipulatives again for Penelope. And these are just for words and spelling and sentence building and stuff like that. So Preston is a really fluent reader. He actually reads very well. He's been reading at a like 3rd, 4th grade level for a really long time. So what I want to work on with him is more of comprehension and understanding what he's reading, and being able to kind of like summarize and give feedback for what it is that he's read. Because as far as like spelling and words and stuff, he's like really up there, so he probably won't really need to use any of that stuff. But figured I'd pick some of that stuff up. So we're slowly building our supply stuff back up, and then I'll be getting everything ready for our school year here pretty soon. So, and then TikTok made me do it. I picked me up a Stanley cup. How ridiculous. All I'm saying is this shit better have my ice water on ice water status for like 2 days. But anyways, it's cute, and I spent the next couple of hours as focused as I could be in Parker's Astrology, reading about progress charts, before I went to make a simple dinner of macaroni and cheese and binge watched on Desperate Housewives. Anyways, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.